Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. In every man's life, there comes a time when peace begins to mean more than pleasure, when a man learns that not every woman deserves his energy, his loyalty, or even his explanation. Because while love is powerful, respect is sacred. And without respect, love becomes manipulation. Many men today find themselves walking on eggshells, constantly apologizing for things they didn't do, explaining their worth to someone who has already decided to disrespect them. They keep giving chances, hoping she'll finally see the good in them. But here's the truth. Toxic and disrespectful women don't change because you love them harder. They change, if they ever do, only when they realize they can no longer control you. This video isn't about hate, revenge, or bitterness. It's about strength, clarity, and reclaiming your masculine peace. Because as Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So today we're going to uncover 8 powerful ways to deal with toxic and disrespectful women, not through anger, but through discipline. Not through shouting, but through silence. You'll learn how to protect your spirit, regain your balance, and walk away with dignity when chaos tries to pull you back in. Because a true man doesn't beg for respect. He commands it through his behavior. If you're ready to rise above emotional games, reclaim your peace, and live by the principles of inner strength and self-respect, then make sure you subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, leave a like, and share this message with another man who needs to hear it. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. Silence, Boundaries, and the Power of Withdrawal. The first step in dealing with a toxic or disrespectful woman is understanding this. You can't teach respect to someone who doesn't value peace. A woman who constantly disrespects you isn't reacting to you. She's reacting to her own lack of emotional control. And the more you try to reason with her, the more you feed the very chaos you're trying to end. Way 1, master the power of silence. When you deal with a toxic woman, your greatest weapon is not your voice, it's your silence. Because silence is clarity. Silence is strength. Silence forces her to face her own behavior without your emotional reaction to distract her from it. A disrespectful woman thrives on reaction. Every argument, every defensive explanation, every attempt to make her understand gives her emotional power over you. But when you stay silent, calm, grounded, and emotionally detached, you remove her power completely. Silence isn't weakness, it's emotional mastery. The Stoics believed that the man who can hold his peace in chaos holds the ultimate control. When you stop reacting, she begins to question herself. She'll test you again, she'll poke, insult, or even mock your calm. But remain centered, because once she realizes that your peace cannot be broken, she'll either adjust her behavior or remove herself. And both outcomes serve you. So remember, not every attack deserves a defense. Sometimes the best response to disrespect is none at all. Way 2, set boundaries without apology. The second way to deal with a toxic woman is to draw clear, unshakable boundaries and stand on them like a mountain. Toxic women will always test limits to see how far they can push before you push back. If you let her cross your boundaries once, she'll take it as permission to do it again. Setting boundaries isn't about control, it's about self-respect. It's you saying, I value my peace more than your approval. It's not about shouting or arguing, it's about calmly enforcing your limits and being ready to walk away if they're ignored. When you say, I don't tolerate being spoken to that way, and then follow through with distance, you teach her something far more powerful than words. You teach her that you respect yourself. Every man must understand this truth. Boundaries mean nothing without consequences. If you tell her what's unacceptable but still stay when she crosses the line, your words lose all weight. But if you calmly pull back, and no anger, no drama, no explanation, she'll feel the weight of your absence more than the sound of your voice. A man's respect for himself must be louder than any woman's disrespect. So as you deal with toxic behavior, remember, silence and boundaries are your shields. They protect your mind, your energy, and your dignity. And when you master both, you'll no longer be controlled by chaos. You'll control your response to it. Drop a comment below if you've ever had to stay silent and walk away to protect your peace, because that moment is where real strength begins. Chapter 2: Detachment, Self-Control, and the Power of Walking Away. In this world of constant validation, attention, and emotional games, one truth remains unchanged. The man who controls his emotions controls the relationship. A toxic woman's greatest strength is your reaction. The moment she knows she can pull you into her storm, she wins. But when you rise above that storm, when your peace becomes non-negotiable, you remind her that true masculinity doesn't chase chaos. It creates order. Way 3. Practice. Emotional detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop bleeding for someone who doesn't value your care. Most men lose control in toxic relationships because they confuse attachment with love. They think that staying, explaining, fixing, or saving her somehow proves their loyalty. But loyalty to a person who disrespects you is disloyalty to yourself. Emotional detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to see the situation without being controlled by it. When she starts shouting, manipulating, or giving you silent treatment, instead of trying to fix it, observe it. Step back mentally, ask yourself, is this woman bringing peace or poison into my life? Detachment allows you to act from logic, not emotion. It keeps you from saying things you'll regret or doing things that hand over your power. And the moment she realizes you're no longer emotionally reactive, that her words no longer pierce, her moods no longer shake you, she'll feel the loss of control. She may try harder to provoke you, to pull you back into emotional chaos, but if you remain calm, unmoved, and firm, something powerful happens. You start to see her clearly for who she really is, not who you hoped she'd be. A man who masters emotional detachment becomes unpredictable in the best way. He no longer dances to anyone's emotional tune. He becomes still, like water, untouched by the wind. And that stillness commands respect more than any argument ever could. Remember this, detachment isn't leaving the person, it's leaving the illusion. Way 4. Master the art of walking away. Every man who values his peace must master this art. Walking away isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself. It's realizing that no matter how beautiful, intelligent, or seductive a woman is, she's not worth your dignity or sanity. Toxic women thrive on control. They feed on your fear of losing them. That's why they test you, to see how much disrespect you'll tolerate just to stay. But the moment you show you're not afraid to lose her, the power shifts instantly. A man who walks away from disrespect is not weak, he's evolved. He's learned that walking away doesn't always mean ending a relationship. Sometimes it simply means ending the part of yourself that keeps accepting less than you deserve. When you walk away calmly. Don't try to make her understand. Don't send long messages explaining how you feel. Don't post quotes or indirect statements, just go silent. Let your absence speak for you. Because silence after disrespect is the loudest message a man can send. She might come back, and when she does, she'll come back differently. Not because she's suddenly changed, but because she realized she can't manipulate what she no longer controls. And if she doesn't come back, then you've gained something even more valuable. Your freedom. A stoic man doesn't chase people. He builds himself so deeply that people chase the peace they once disturbed. So understand this, walking away isn't about pride, it's about preservation. It's protecting your purpose, your energy, your mental health, because no man can fulfill his destiny while drowning in emotional drama. When you value peace over attention, solitude over drama, and self-respect over attachment, you become unstoppable. Drop a comment below if you've ever had to walk away from disrespect. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. Chapter 3. Inner discipline, emotional intelligence, and the power of respecting yourself. When a man has spent years dealing with disrespect, he begins to realize something profound, that the battle isn't only with her, it's with himself. Because every time you allow disrespect, you silently tell the world that your standards are negotiable. A toxic woman will always push until you decide that your peace, your purpose, and your presence are not up for sale. Way 5. Strengthen your inner discipline. A man who lacks discipline becomes an easy target for manipulation. Toxic women thrive on emotional chaos, and discipline is the exact opposite of chaos. It's structure, self-control, and focus. When you discipline your mind, you stop reacting out of emotion and start responding out of wisdom. You stop texting back when you're angry. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your worth. Instead, you let your consistency and self-respect do the talking. Inner discipline means having control over your urges, especially the urge to react. Because the moment you react to her drama, she controls the frame. But when you remain centered, calm, and detached, you remind her that your peace cannot be manipulated. You have to train your emotions like a warrior trains his sword. When she throws insults, you don't swing blindly, you stay balanced. When she pulls away to test you, you don't panic, you remain grounded. When she plays the victim, you see through it because you've built discipline strong enough to see past temporary emotion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the essence of inner discipline. It's not about controlling others, but controlling how you let others affect you. Discipline means you choose your peace, even when your emotions are begging you to react. It means you remain calm even when your pride wants to shout. It means you stay focused on your purpose, even when someone is trying to drag you into emotional battles that don't build you. A man with inner discipline is dangerous, not because he's violent, but because he's unshakable. Way 6. Make self-respect non-negotiable. There comes a moment in every man's life when he must decide, do I want to be liked or do I want to be respected? Because toxic women don't destroy strong men. They destroy men who keep giving chances out of fear of being alone. Self-respect is the foundation of every great man's peace. Without it, you'll find yourself tolerating behavior you swore you never would. You'll make excuses for disrespect just to keep the relationship. You'll shrink your standards to avoid conflict. And in doing so, you'll lose yourself piece by piece. But when self-respect becomes non-negotiable, everything changes. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop accepting half-hearted apologies. You stop chasing after people who keep showing you that they don't value you. Respecting yourself means you no longer beg to be chosen. You choose yourself. It means that when a woman disrespects you, you don't retaliate or argue. You simply step back and protect your peace. Because a man who respects himself doesn't seek revenge, he seeks distance. It also means you hold yourself to your own standards. You can't demand respect if you're not living like a man who deserves it. Keep your word, stay consistent, be honest, show up for yourself. Because when your life reflects strength and integrity, disrespect naturally bounces off you. It can't stick to a man who already knows his worth. Remember this, the way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. If you tolerate chaos, you'll attract more of it. But if you move with quiet confidence, people will either match your energy or remove themselves. Self-respect is the line between being a man who's tolerated and a man who's valued. And once you cross that line, you never go back. When you have discipline and self-respect, you become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase validation because he's already whole within himself. That's the type of energy women can feel, even without words. Drop a comment below if you've ever reached that point where you finally chose peace over pleasing someone, because that's when your transformation as a man truly begins. Chapter 4. Acceptance, growth, and becoming untouchable. There's a moment in every man's life when he finally stops asking, why is she like this? And starts asking, why do I keep allowing it? That's the turning point, the birth of emotional freedom. Because once you stop trying to change toxic people and start changing how you respond to them, you step into a level of peace that no woman, no drama, no betrayal can ever destroy. Way 7, accept what you cannot change. One of the hardest lessons a man must learn is acceptance, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. You can't fix a woman who doesn't see anything wrong with her behavior. You can't teach loyalty to someone who benefits from betrayal. You can't build peace with someone addicted to chaos. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of her behavior. It means you acknowledge reality without emotional resistance. It's realizing that her toxicity is not your fault, nor your responsibility to heal. Many men waste years trying to help or save a woman who's deeply damaged inside. They confuse empathy with obligation. They believe if they just love her harder, stay longer, or forgive more, she'll finally change. But what happens? The cycle repeats. Disrespect, apology, brief peace, then chaos again. The Stoics taught that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our attachment to how we wish things would be. When you accept that some people are not capable of meeting you with respect or love, you stop taking it personally. You stop begging for closure. You stop trying to prove your worth. Acceptance frees you from illusion. It reminds you that not everyone is meant to walk with you. Some are simply lessons meant to awaken you. And here's the truth most men never realize. Once you accept her nature, you stop reacting to it. You stop arguing with reality, and peace returns. Acceptance doesn't make you cold, it makes you wise. It's the art of knowing when to care deeply and when to care correctly. Way 8, focus on your growth and build an unshakable life. The final and most powerful way to deal with a toxic or disrespectful woman is this: outgrow her. Because nothing destroys toxicity faster than evolution. When you focus on your growth, mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually, you make her chaos irrelevant. You rise above it. You stop trying to be understood by those who choose confusion over clarity. Every man must build himself into a fortress, not to isolate from love, but to protect his peace. Develop your body, discipline your mind, chase your purpose with ruthless focus. Read, travel, train, build something meaningful. Because a man on his mission becomes magnetic, not because he's chasing, but because he's becoming. When you're growing, toxic women can't reach you. Their games lose power because your mind is no longer living at that level. The moment you level up, you realize that her disrespect says more about her than it ever did about you. And here's something powerful. When you're truly focused on growth, you stop needing closure from her, because you've already moved so far forward that she's no longer part of your story. The greatest revenge is not anger, it's success, peace, and silence. Remember, a man's value is not determined by how much he tolerates. It's defined by how much he masters himself. When you build your empire, whether that's your body, your mind, your business, or your spiritual life, the pain fades, the noise disappears, and all that remains is strength. That's when you become untouchable, not cold, not bitter, but grounded, wise, and free. You stop trying to prove your worth. You simply live it. You stop chasing peace. You become peace. You stop reacting to disrespect. You simply rise above it because you're too focused on what's ahead to be distracted by what's beneath you. That's the true Stoic man, not emotionless, but emotionally unbreakable. Drop a comment below if you've ever reached that point where you realize peace, growth, and purpose were more valuable than any relationship, because that's when you truly become untouchable. Remember, brother, toxic people can't survive in the presence of a man who values peace. Disrespect loses its power when you refuse to engage, and manipulation fails the moment you stop reacting. Every man must reach that place where peace is more attractive than drama, where solitude feels safer than chaos, and where self-respect becomes more satisfying than being loved for the wrong reasons. Never forget, you teach people how to treat you, not through your words, but through your silence, your standards, and your consistency. The moment you stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you, you reclaim your freedom. The world will tell you that being a man means being loud, dominant, and constantly proving your strength. But true strength is quiet. It's found in your ability to walk away without resentment. It's in your refusal to argue when you already know your worth. It's in the calm confidence that comes from self-mastery. The Stoics taught that a man's greatest victory is not over others, it's over himself. So each time you resist the urge to react, every time you choose discipline over emotion, and every time you put peace before pride, you are winning the invisible battles that shape great men. And as you walk your path, remember this: not everyone will understand your silence. Not everyone will appreciate your calm. But those who do, those who are drawn to it, they are your tribe. If you found strength in this message, like this video, share it with another man who's ready to rise above the noise, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where ancient wisdom meets modern masculinity. Here, we don't chase validation. We build value. We don't react to chaos. We master calm. And we don't beg for respect. We live in a way that commands it. Stand tall, stay grounded, and protect your peace. Because at the end of the day, the calmest man in the room is always the most powerful one.